This is Noel Tate from the rock band Leader and Trapped in a World, the Howard the Duck podcast, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Perich, host of a Totally Turtle Sports and Gaming YouTube channel, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Podcast Network.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to another week of the Nightwing news. This is, I think, the last of the year. I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And today we'll be talking Batman, Gotham Knights, Gilded City 1 and 2. And Dick Grayson made a slight little appearance in another book, new book this week. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, the only wrong thing. The Batman one, or was it Detective that came out?
No. It's Batman and the Joker, the Deadly Duo, number 2. It's a Black Label book, so I'm not even sure if it's in continuity or not. But no, the whole premise of that one is Harley Quinn and Commissioner Gordon have both been kidnapped by someone, so Batman reluctantly has to team up with the Joker.
Oh, I see.
So in this one, he takes them back all like blindfolded and stuff to the Batcave, and there's Alfred and Dick waiting.
Is Dick Nightwing?
Nightwing, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then there's a Wayne Wayne Enterprises meeting that Bruce is supposed to show up, but instead he sends his proxy, Dick Grayson.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, not like, I mean, Dick really wasn't in action in this, but yeah, I mean, he was in a good bit of it, just in the Batcave, and then, yes, taking Bruce's place at the meeting.
Wearing a suit, good stuff there.
Uh-huh. And then...
Showing that sometimes he can put an outfit together, or more like, sometimes he wears the outfit Alfred puts together for him.
Exactly. And then, he really did, I mean, you just saw him off in like a couple in the background in a couple panels, but Dark Crisis, what was it? Wow. Warzone number 1 came out today, and you could tell they're really hyping up Dark Crisis number 7 because it's like different people like in the big battle that's going to take place at the end. You just keep seeing Dick in the background, so I'm like, oh, they're I'm sure
I'm not reading that one either. They're just too many, and I can't handle it all.
That one's a one-shot, but it's so funny because it's like if there's anyone in the background of like everyone's story, it's Dick. So the artist for probably.
But he's like literally in the background. He's not really a major character. Right?
I mean, it's like a bit. I mean, there's like a big fight going on with basically everyone, and over here it's like, oh, here's this character, here's Black Canary and the new Red Canary over here, and it's just like every time, at least once in everyone's story, you see Dick in the background fighting, and it's just like. I think the artist was told, if you put anyone in the background, put Dick Grayson in the background because he's going to be, a big plot point of the last issue.
He's going to be somebody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he's all over that cover.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you were saying that Superman went and talked to Batman, but I think that's what's supposed to happen in 101. It says in the blurb that Superman's going to go talk to Dick.
Yeah, oh yeah, I think, yeah. That's what the solicit said is basically, the Justice League, I guess, isn't coming back. Well, individually they're back, but not collectively, so it's basically, like, I guess Superman, it's already been said, but I guess now Superman's going to say, yeah, Dick, it's your turn to lead, you got to form a team, the team.
I know, and it says it's going to be Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of wondering if also that's kind of DC's thing is, well, I mean, they had him as Justice League, but it's like Justice League are these characters. And if they're not existing as the Justice League, then we have to have a team that has a different name because that's just how we roll.
I know, but I guess maybe just because it's like it's all of the it's those are our classic
yes, I assume
Titans.
it will be the Titans.
Yeah. And it said, I think they're actually going to be in Bloodhaven now, so maybe that's probably another reason we knocked the tower down in Dark Crisis. Because they're probably going to rebuild in Bloodhaven or do have something in Bloodhaven.
Well, and it will be interesting to actually have Barbara interact with the Titans, because I don't think they've actually done that much.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've kind of kept, it's like the Titan stuff and the Batman stuff, and it's like they reference it in other books and stuff, but at the same time, they've also kind of kept it separate.
They've kept them separate, but now it seems like anything they can tie in the Bat stuff, they do.
It's all about the Bat. I get those emails from DC, and they were telling us about all their special stuff. They're revealing new Batman Christmas presents every day for a week, and they are so expensive.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Why do you think I want Bruce Wayne labeled whiskey decanters?
Batman's getting to be like Nike. You're paying for the name.
I guess.
All right.
I guess. So I will say that I went to watch something on YouTube, and because YouTube knows me so well, it brought up people had placed the Gotham Knights, I guess, like the story parts onto YouTube. So I watched some of those, and they were pretty good. It freaks me out a little bit. The animation. I mean, I'm not sure if it classifies as animation. I don't know what I guess it's animation. I don't know if they call it something different when it's a video game. I thought that when they were in their superhero outfits, it looked pretty good. But then when they were not, it's sometimes their faces, I don't know, it's that kind of maybe where it looks pretty human, but just a little bit not, that it kind of freaks you out a little bit.
I think that, what do they call that? I think they call that uncanny valley or something. Yeah, where it's like it kind of looks real, but there's just enough where it freaks you out.
Interestingly, for me, I thought that Barbara looked the best when she was Barbara out of all of them. She weirded me out the least.
Mm. Well, maybe just because, I don't know, maybe because she's like the only like main female, right? Because everyone else is like, oh, we got to alter, Dick's face to look different than like, Robin's.
Yeah, they looked a little. Dick looked like a little chunkier when he was Dick than I envisioned. A little more similar to Jason's body type, but Jason was still bigger. I don't know, but it was fine.
Because Bruce is like missing or dead in that game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I think these comics were covered, or like, they're like the prequels, so.
Yeah.
And I thought we were getting away from this, maybe probably not in the games, but it's like I don't know. I don't like heavily armored Batman.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say
defund Batman. No.
Dick being all like, "Get out of my city," and them not.
That too, but
that annoyed me. I think that it must be kind of a video game sort of thing, because
I mean, depending, they do that in the comics sometimes too, but I think sometimes
it feels like, from it. To me, whenever they're doing something that is an Elseworld that it would make sense with, or something that's a little more apocalyptic, they always make them more armored up.
Yeah.
Like in Future State, they were more armor, and then in that kind of Dark Knight's Metal, I felt like Dick kind of looked like he had more, looked more armory on. So yeah, I feel like they do that a lot. Maybe that's kind of a visual signal they use to say that this isn't the main continuity or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, definitely, since it's based on the game, it's not regular continuity. But what did you think of this attack in the beginning? Someone basically like not gassed the crowd, but just what these the toys are basically laced with a chemical.
It's pretty uncool.
I know it is, but then it just seems to spread really, really quick. And they're like, "Oh, it's all over the city now." It's like everyone touched this stuff at once, or I don't know if people were. I don't know. Airborne would have made more sense, because I mean, they're eventually it's like, "Oh, where are you, Robin? Where are you, Batgirl?" It's like, "Oh, different parts of town," and that. Yeah, and that's supposed to be Damian, right?
No, it's Tim.
Is it Tim? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's hard to tell depending on who.
Yeah, it's Tim. It's Tim in the. Well, he does call him Tim earlier on, and it's Tim in the game.
Yeah. But just the costume looks weird, you know. If I went just by the costume, I would assume Damien.
Right. Well, they don't. I mean, again, they use what they pick and choose, so it's not consistent. Because Barbara is the more recent.
Yeah.
Is a more recent outfit.
And then, as a professor of history, what did you think of these 1847 flashbacks?
It's not my time period, so I can't judge on how accurate they are.
I mean, I kind of liked it, though. You know, like the are basically our prototype Batman here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's cool that it's something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this, yeah.
It's always nice when they mix it up a little.
I just wonder how that's going to tie into the present day stuff.
Well, we'll find out soon. But I think, so I liked the second one a lot better because it had more dick and it wasn't as ridiculous as this. But it gets, and I think when I first read this, I sent you a screen cap of the last one, but it does get ridiculous that they keep using the same stuff over and over again, that they're like, oh, everything is going great with Batgirl and Robin. It's almost like they're taking a page from the animated series, because sometimes in this, which is on the one hand fine, but also sometimes weird, that sometimes they make Barbara almost like I don't want to say too close, but yeah, really. Sometimes they make her more of a sidekick, I guess, than because she was always a little bit more independent. Yeah. Than that. And of course, that was the big thing. Is she's not independent in Batman the animated series.
Oh, yeah,
she's a little bit in the first seasons, but then once they change the animation style, she like basically takes over the Robin role. Yeah. Kind of thing. And it a little bit felt like that's what was happening in this first issue.
Yeah, for the game, I assume they probably tried to ape the animated series style a little bit, just because they're probably like, oh, people are more familiar with that than the comics. And
I mean, but her thing in the movie is, Bruce is missing / dead, and that's a thing for everybody, but I guess hopefully not spoiler, I don't know. But Jim Gordon is also dead. And so her issue is kind of more with, which I thought was good. Her issue is kind of more with stuff about like remembering her father and trying to solve one of his cases that he was working on just like right before he died.
I haven't
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I haven't played the game yet, but yeah, just from reading this, it seems like they're going, with like a, it's like, oh, Gotham, the next generation, because I mean, I don't know if she's in the game, but they even introduced us to Leslie Tompkins' daughter. Yeah, which this is the first time in any Bat thing I think I've seen a daughter of Leslie Tompkins. So
yeah, so true.
So yeah, they're big.
But that being said, it always kind of annoyed, and they do this a lot. I mean, I read some of them in that like Batman White Knight and some of those. It always feels weird to me when they have Barbara Batgirl so close into the Bat family when at the same time, like, Dick is really isolated from it, or they've got him as still being, because I mean, it's my impression that isn't really what happened in the comics.
Yeah, no. I mean, I mean, she wasn't that close until, probably like New 52 or so. I mean, she was Oracle.
I mean, I know they kind of tried to rewrite a little bit of that with Batman, or with Nightwing Year One, where Barbara went back to the Batcave, kind of thing. But
remember, for the longest time, she wasn't even in Gotham, right? Because she wasn't, she was she a congresswoman?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember, she wasn't even in Gotham, and she was older than Dick, and then, by the time after Crisis rolls around, it's not too long after that, they, Killing Joke, and then, she becomes Oracle, so. Yeah. So, yeah, and then she stays Oracle.
So, I don't know, I don't know, I guess, it just gives me a weird feeling, I guess, that it's not terrible, but I guess I'm not totally comfortable with it. I don't know, because I just feel like it makes her a little bit too much of a sidekick, and I never felt like that's at least what Barbara was. They always seemed to kind of stress that she was a little more independent and that kind of thing. And so some of the stuff, I don't know as it's necessarily bad like that in the game. It's just sometimes in the comics that's been out of the games, or like in the animated series, or in some of those
well, and again too, it's
White Knight kind of things.
Yeah.
She seems like weirdly loyal to Bruce in a way that, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not like she cast Bruce aside and like picked Dick over him when they have when they have him get fired and stuff, but they sort of feels like, I don't know, I just always feel like that was one of the things the animated series did wrong. Great as it is, was make Barbara too much of a sidekick.
Yeah. I don't know. It just,
and I understand they wanted to have her in the show, and so that was basically how they did it. But they did it by basically making her another sidekick.
I think it was just the easiest way for them to include her in stories and stay in the animated series.
Mm-hmm. And I get that in something that's a cartoon for kids, but you don't necessarily have to do it that way in your other comic books. But whatever. That, I think, is maybe more criticism I have with some alternate universe things.
Yeah.
Sorry, Siri's trying to jump in.
I know. She does that to me sometimes.
Alternate universe things in this specifically. But whatever.
But unfortunately, I think the Nightwing suit is my least favorite suit out of the four of them in this. I mean, if you look at the last page of issue 1, he looks like he's like standing there in a jacket, like an armored jacket.
Jackets can be useful.
Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway, yeah. So as a Nightwing fan, I wasn't totally jazzed about the first issue, because I was like, oh,
well, yeah. I mean, he wasn't in most of it.
Well, right, but I just meant by the ending. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't work for you anymore. I was like, not this again.
Yeah, I know.
But that being said, as we go to the second one, I was pleasantly surprised and happier than I thought I would be about the second one, considering that I was like, about issue 1.
Yeah. But yeah, no, issue 2, I like it with the whole, Batman's supposedly going to stop this girl from breaking into this apartment, but, Dick's like, no, it's not what you think.
Yep.
Although they kind of have to swing at each other a little bit.
Well, of course.
Because it's the abusive ex-boyfriend or whatever.
Yep.
But I love the line, I don't want to be Batman, I want to be better. But Dick telling the guy, I'll find you first, and if I don't, then he points to Batman, he will. But then, of course, Dick's like, you let me hit you with my eskrima stick, just so you could find out what's going on. But I like, yes.
But yes, I liked Batman's line, different ways to accomplish the mission. I understand it better now.
Yes.
So that made me happy.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're not dragging it out too long. That's only like a few pages.
Well, and sometimes it always feels like a gift whenever DC allows Batman to be slightly incorrect.
Yes.
So you're like, oh, I have to cherish this.
But I love how they're going to like bust this gang into this warehouse in Bloodhaven. Dick's like, oh, you guys waited? I'm flattered. And Batman seemed only right. It's your city after all.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's because... Well, the other thing I liked was... Batman's narration. I was like, he grew up, he started getting his own ideas about what justice looked like. And so I'll admit that did get me a little nervous. I was like, oh geez.
Yeah.
And so I appreciated that they emphasized, because that is correct, but just the way the narration was going, so good on them for their bait and switch, because I could have seen.
Yeah, because that could easily have gone, oh, hey, Jason,
Yeah, they could have.
But yeah, when they dive in, I like that splash page. It's just the three of them jumping down on the Scarecrow's gang.
Mm-hmm. But I also thought it was kind of funny how he's like, oh, what? You said I wasn't good enough. Now you have to come here and remind me, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, no. Batman's going to accept. He's like, no, you can't. So anyway, he's being like more personal about it, helping her out. But I thought it was funny how he's kind of yelling at Batman. But then he's like, all right. Well, even with everything that's happened, it's good to see you guys. Even you, Batman. It's like, so you were so mad at each other a few pages ago, and now you're like, yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, that's boys for you.
Which I guess I kind of like, but was also kind of like, dang.
But yeah, but then Leslie's daughter was Jada, and Barbara are going over the chemical, none of the typical markers of the fear gas exposure in the blood. But yeah, it's two totally unrelated catalysts making people act on deeply buried impulses. I must say, I'm not 100% familiar with the story of the game, so yeah, I don't know who's behind this. But at the end, in this flashback, I'm assuming it's the Court of Owls, just because of that guy's mask who shows up in the flashback, and it says next horrors of the court.
Oh yeah, the Court of Owls is involved in the game. Yeah, I know that from watching the YouTubes.
Oh, so I wonder if we're going to be dealing with like something with the history of the court, and then they're going to is this going to be like their first appearance in this universe or whatever? But yeah, I mean, it caught my interest because sometimes I'm just like, oh, stuff based on video games, is it going to be any good? But I mean, I'm going to read. I'm probably going to plan on reading more of this just to see. Again, I'm intrigued just by the flashback.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And of course, I mean, I want to see where they get to present day, but yeah, no. I mean, yeah, video game tie-ins can go bad, whether it's comics, movies, but yeah, no, I thought they did a pretty good job on this.
Yeah, like I said, I was nervous. Not nervous. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, like how they're going to treat Dick, yeah.
After the first one. But yeah, it turned it around for me because at least, I mean, I know from watching that they've, like, kind of part of Dick's video game story is that he still has some issues with Bruce. So I don't think it's all going to be, hunky-dory the rest of the time. But I was glad that they resolved it reasonably before then.
Yeah, and then like stuff like this and like the animated series, it's like, I'm assuming he doesn't have the Titans, so he goes off on his own, and he basically probably doesn't have anyone to really talk to about this stuff. I mean, unless he's on the phone with Barbara or something, but yeah. So stuff like this, it's always going to be different because he doesn't have the Titan. He's not with the Titans and doesn't have people that group to confide in.
Yeah. And wait, has Jason popped up yet?
In this, not yet. Yeah, so that's what
okay.
Because how many issues is this? Is this like?
I think it's 6.
That's what I thought. So I wonder. I wouldn't be surprised if he shows up in the next one or something.
You would think.
Yeah, because I mean, next one will be halfway. So.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Jason and Barbara kind of have a lot of moments in the game. It looks like I mean, she still has a number with Dick as well, but.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I just wonder how they're gonna do the whole Jason characterization. I mean, not that Dick has a ton of, but I mean, if Dick has these kind of issues with Bruce in the beginning of 2, I mean, what's Jason gonna be like?
Yeah, they definitely have him as a little angry and like some pit stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not bad.
No.
I mean, I guess I understand why they do it. Sometimes I just hate it when it's so angsty.
I know. But again, they're probably playing off some of the animated series stuff. And again, I guess, I don't know, it's a quick and easy way to just like show it's like, oh, hey, he's not, Dick isn't Batman. He kind of does things a different way sometimes. Right.
But I just hate how they have to make him angsty with Bruce just so that they can then show. Because it kind of seems somewhat counterintuitive. Like, oh, he's nicer, kinder, gentler. Except when he's having knockdown, drag out fights with Batman.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Whatever.
All right. Anything else on these?
No, I guess one thing that I didn't really think about before, but that is kind of interesting, is that these came out kind of like around the same time as the like it's coming out at the same time as the video game. It seems a little surprising that it didn't come out beforehand.
Yeah, I wonder, unless it was late or something. I don't know. Or unless they didn't want to give stuff away for the game too early. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. Well, no, wait. That's true. I guess because when you read them, there's codes that you can use to get stuff in the game.
Oh, yeah,
so maybe that's why they're coming out simultaneously. I forgot about that. Since I don't play the game.
Yeah, so.
But, yeah.
All right. Oh, but hey, this is, when you guys hear this, I mean, we are recording this ahead of time because Kristen and I won't be around the last week of the year, but this is the last episode of the year, so any messages for listeners, Kristen, for the end of the year?
I hope you had a diggity dank 2022, and let's have a swinging and groovy 2023.
Yay, nice. So, yes, and hopefully you got some good Nightwing gifts, kids. Alright. Alright, so should we get out of here then?
I think so. We'll wrap it up.
Alright, so yes, so next week, to start your new year off, we're gonna be covering Justice League Task Force 1 through 3. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be covering Future's End, Grayson #1, and Nightwing 99, so you'll hear that. And then, like I think we said it last time, yes, January we'll round out with a 2-part special on Joker's Last Laugh.
Oh, right, yeah.
Alright, so send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter. You can find the Nightwing Facebook fan group. Find links to all the various social medias for all the DC and Marvel shows we do. Well, and Salty and Petty coming in 2023, because, yes, that's going to be something different. Not Marvel, not
Wait,
DC.
what'd you say? Salty?
Salty and Petty. Me and Lilith and I. She's salty, I'm petty. We're basically just going to be talking pop culture, TV shows, movies, whatever. Basically whatever we want. Doesn't have to be comics, so.
Fair enough.
So, yes, find updates on all the new stuff, the YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the various shows we do. So, yes, smash that subscribe button.
Smash it!
And, of course, the Patreon. Once again, we're paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester Chats with that genius, Mr. DG Chichester.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
Superhero movie brackets are over. Begin listening to the whole thing now if you enjoy our pain. And of course, yes, a bunch of surprises, and the patrons get to request stuff in 2023, so that's why you should join. And pick yourself up to Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And when you hear this on the podcast, the holiday, Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate will be over, but you can still pick up Dick Grayson Boy Wonder on Amazon, which you should do. There's always a holiday around the corner.
Always. So true.
Show your love, your true love.
And if there isn't, make one up.
Hey, show your love that your true love and get them Dick Grayson Boy Wonder for Valentine's Day. Let's see. I hear agreement in the back here.
Yes, Nightwing Cat is saying, yes, buy it.
All right, kids. Thank you for joining us. Yes, come back in 1 week. Justice League Task Force 1 through 3. And then in 2...
That'll be some 90s, 90s goodness.
And then in 2 weeks, yes, Future's End, Grayson #1, and Nightwing 99. And we'll probably be talking about, if I get my grubby little hands on it, Dark Crisis #7. So, which they've been teasing us for months now. Dick Grayson's going to play a big part. So, 2023, it's going to be all Dick. All right, kids, join us next time. Remember, join us same wing time.
Same wing channel.
The Nightwing News.
Hi, I'm one of the High Priests of Khonshu Ray, and I have the sacred privilege of providing you, the loony listener, with a podcast honouring Marvel's very own Moon Knight. Want to learn more about the Fist of Khonshu in comics? You got it. We review all current and classic runs from Mensch to Houston to Lemire. Want to know where else to find the Avatar of Vengeance? Glad you asked. We also review action figures, video games, animation, TV, anything and anywhere Moon Knight is featured, we've got it covered. All this along with any latest news which may feature our White Knight week in or week out. So join me and a host of others at Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, or support the show by becoming a Patreon member. Into the Night, a Moon Knight podcast. It's time to get your conchu on.